Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin, and today I have for you a question from Numis Canada with Bruce that I wanted to talk about. It was really a comment about Canadians freezing the assets of truckers protesting Parliament Hill, the world moving close to access world finance. Do you have a local coin shop? Okay, here's the point. Local coin shop expressed that he had seen a panic in gold buying, which is one of the things that I talk about a lot. Lots of people sell gold and silver with panic in mind. They actually promote panic to help sell their product. And also, he said that the average purchase was $60,000 at a time. He says it's because the government can't freeze your gold assets in combination with the growing distrust of fiat currency. So there's two separate reasons there. I don't know if this is widespread, but stacking gold and silver does have its benefits. All right, so for those of you who have watched me talk about gold and silver, you know that I am actually a lot more of a moderate on this topic, even though I sell gold and silver, and I tell people they should have some gold and silver. I view it mostly as an insurance against inflation. I view it also as a savings account, emergency fund, and as an inheritance. Those are my triple-pronged approach to the metals. And of course, we have a lot of people who are panic buying and panic selling. The panic selling, if you were panicked and selling, you wouldn't be selling, right? So there is that. So you have a lot of people that are selling into this panic mode. And what's interesting to me about some of the comments here that I want to play on or hit on really quick is, of course, there's the distrust of fiat currency. That's eternal. Like I've always told people, you know, I have boxes full of paper money that is worthless. And so that is something that I always show people. This is what happens to paper money over time. That's just a given. So the argument for wealth building really becomes an argument of physical assets versus paper. That's just, I'm going to stop at that point because I was about to jump into the metaverse, and we'll get into maybe the metaverse later. What I want to go on there is this comment about freezing assets, and then I think he tied it back into the fact that there's benefits to having physical assets besides that. So, you know, here's the thing. The government will always have ways to control the people when it comes to stuff like this. They just will, right? I think that long gone are the ways of, you know, as I say, the 20s and 30s, but long gone are the ways of the 80s and 90s, let alone the early 2000s. And the world is in some ways totally different than it was just 10 or 20 years ago. And I'm sure you can say that about lots of periods of time, but really just because I've been doing this about 24 years now, it's dramatically different than 24 years ago. And with the way technology is today, I don't know that gold or silver actually saves your bacon if the government is coming for you. Now, I'm not here to make anyone more paranoid than they already are, but you know, the point is that the government can control you other ways, and they can. I'm not saying that they will. You know, it's easy to find a story, an article that points back to the things that make you very uncomfortable about how the government handles stuff. Right? We can always find an article about something. I make those arguments with people all the time about the government controlling things with, you know, some guy that opens up a lemonade stand or some kids that open up a lemonade stand, and then all of a sudden you have the authorities come in and just kind of shut them down, right? So because they didn't get a permit, it's like, okay, right? We can show those articles and then pound our fists on the table. But the broader point here is I think that when it comes to the government freezing your assets and having gold or silver, okay, so there can be, if this was actually going to happen, let's follow this train of thought all the way through. If this was actually going to happen where the government was like, we're going to seize control of gold and silver, what would they do, right? So first of all, they can monitor every last anything that goes on this thing, right? Everything that happens on this, they can monitor, okay? Second, right? If you were going to go somewhere where you can turn your gold or silver into a fiat currency, they can also squeeze those guys, right? This guy. So there's a point at which if the government didn't want you to have gold or silver, you wouldn't. I mean, in this day and age, in my opinion, you would have to become Amish. I'm not picking on the Amish. I actually mean that literally. Like the Amish live outside of the system of society that you and I live in, right? I mean, they really do. I mean, for everyone who's like really upset about the world around them, go live with the Amish. I mean, they've got something different to offer, right? I mean, you can always go homestead yourself, but I mean, why reinvent the wheel, right? So, but for everybody else, if you live in society and you're trying to work your way through society, if the government actually was going to just take stuff, they just would. I mean, I've always talked about this with, with Obamacare, and this is not a political statement. This is just a factual statement. The government taxed oxygen. They found out how to tax oxygen because I am breathing. I have to enter a private contract with a private company, or the government will come after me with a tax penalty. And all tax penalties do have the full weight of the government behind it in everything that means, right? So the government figured out how to tax oxygen. I'm breathing. I have to buy a private product from a private company because I'm breathing, right? That's been my argument. So if they wanted your gold and silver, they would take it. They would find a way to take it, because otherwise, where will you be living and how will you be handling your life? Once again, you'd have to live in a commune somewhere, right? So all of this is making you more paranoid, right? But that's not the point. The point's not to be more paranoid. The point's to think about, okay, it's not as crazy as the news makes it look. And it's not as crazy as sometimes it feels, right? Sometimes you got to turn stuff off that makes you feel that way. Like I stopped watching Glenn Beck years ago because his show made me paranoid. And I don't want to be paranoid. Like, forget about it. And I know there's going to be you guys out there like, ignorance is bliss, Ben. Don't be ignorant. You be happy. Hey, look, no, the opposite's true. You can be happy. You can still find truth and be happy. This is my belief anyway. So I know a lot of the world won't tell you that, but I think that it's possible. I thought this comment really got me thinking about a few things, just about fiat currency and about what type of protection you actually have or don't have. And yeah, it's a place where people can put money into a physical asset. And I don't think the government's coming after it anytime soon. It doesn't really benefit them to come after it, right? I mean, that's just the way I see it. So thanks for the comment. I thought it was really thought-provoking. And, maybe I'll turn off comments for this video. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm Ben the Coin Geek. You can subscribe by clicking on the owl button in the corner and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.